Hello, welcome back to Project Headquarters. Today, we're going to start dealing with the rusty frame on the square body. Okay, today we're going to get busy on the square body project. If you haven't seen the video that I did a couple weeks ago, going over my 1984 Chevy K20 project, go back and check that out. What this is, if you didn't see the video, it's a 1984 Chevrolet K20. It's basically an old farm truck that I bought, and I'm going to redo the whole thing. Now, prior to us even having a YouTube channel, we took the bed off of it. I repaired a brake line that was leaking on it, but that's about as far as I got. The frame on this truck does have some scale and some rust. And like I said on the previous video, that I was going to start in the back and work my way to the front. Now, a few weeks ago, I started brushing the frame up. Now, I just used a 4-inch grinder with a wire cup brush on it. Got some of it cleaned up. There is some heavy pitting on it, but it's actually not that bad. But there's still a lot of scale and a lot of crust on here. Now, the issue that I have is this cross member. I have nothing to get in there to get that out. I was trying to think about how I could get that all cleaned out and get this thing ready to put some rust treatment on it. So I started watching some YouTube videos, and some guys were using, they were doing the old-fashioned wire brush, and that's what I started to do, but I don't know how I'm going to get a brush in there. Then I came across this, and I ordered it. I don't know how it's going to work, but this is a sandblaster that connects to a pressure washer. Got this off of Amazon. It was really cheap. It was like 30 bucks. I'll put a link down to it. But some of the videos I watched, it worked very, very well, and some of them it didn't work so great at all. So we're going to test this out, and we're going to try it out. But my main concern right now is to get the inside of the frame rails, because it's hard to get a grinder in there. And also that cross member. You really can't get anything in there to get that all cleaned out. So stick around. We're going to pull it out. We're going to get things set up, and we're going to see how this thing works. All right, got this thing put together. Basically, it comes with everything you need in the kit. It comes with extra nozzles. Comes with instructions. It comes with the cheap clamps that you put the hose on. The hose is pretty long. This here's your siphon tube. This goes into your bucket with your media. And then here's the main wand. Now, from what I've been told in all my research, that you have to have this hose up. If you have it down while you're applying it, the water will come down through here and this will clog. So you want to put this up as best you can. I've seen where guys have actually zip tied these to the wands to keep that up. We're going to experiment, and I'll let you know. I guess we'll find out together how that works. But anyway, this here's the finished assembled sandblaster. Now, as far as the media goes, I see guys on videos do different things. They were using coal slag you get from Harbor Freight, but everybody says that this Quickcrete play sand, it's very fine, doesn't clog, and this is what works the best. Got this at a local farm supply store here locally. It's about $6 a bag. I got 5 bags. Have no idea how much this is going to use, but from what I can tell, it does consume a lot of sand. But right now, like I said, these are the areas that I want to concentrate on, is inside that cross member, inside this frame rail, and probably around the rear differential a little bit, because I do want to get in there and get that serviced. So anyway, we're going to pull this out and get things set up and give her a shot. Okay, this is the pressure washer we use. We use this thing pretty much weekly. I don't think this would work with an electric one, but this is a Kohler Husky model. We've had it for several years. Cole uses it weekly to clean the race car. Is that Cole has one of these. He puts a tip in. That way he can get in close. So I'm going to try putting the sandblaster on this where I can get into tight spots. We'll see if it works. Okay, got this thing assembled. This is what I did. I ended up looping the hose up onto the top and zip tying it to the little handle nozzle that we have. I'm going to see if this is going to work. But this will keep that pointed up so it doesn't clog up. One of the things that I'm seeing right away that I may have to tweak is that this hose is not very long. And there's my bucket of media. So it's going to be relatively close to everything. And I'm afraid it's going to get wet. So I may end up, I'm going to try it, but I think if I had a longer hose on this, where I could put the bucket of media behind the pressure washer itself, that would keep that dry. Now I'm going to put a plastic bag over it just to be safe, but that bucket's going to have to be right up by the truck. And I'm not sure how that's going to work, but we're going to find out. All right, guys, to say that was it didn't work. It did work. To say that I was impressed, I'm not. I think that the sand that I bought, I believe it was somewhat wet inside these plastic bags. What I need to do is take the sand out, get some more buckets, put it in there, and let it dry in the sun really well. I think if the sand was really dry, I don't think there would be a problem. As far as the sandblaster itself, it kept clogging, and I think it kept clogging because the sand would clump up and it would get stuck in the hose. The other issue that I had is that red hose that comes with it it's not that long, and you're pretty close to your work, and it gets wet. It's too close. It needs to be extended. So I think if I get a longer hose, dry the sand out, I think it would work a lot better. Now on the truck, it did work. Go down here and I'll show you. Now, the spot that I wanted to get done inside that cross member, it did get in there and it did work. It did clean up the differential a little bit. There's still a lot of pitting on the frame. I'm going to have to do some work to that. But I still think that an old-fashioned grinder would be the way to go. Didn't really sandblast it per se and take it down to bare metal, but what it did do is it did clean a lot of it up and it took a lot of the scale off. Now there's still quite a bit here, but inside these cross members where I thought I'd have a hard time getting in there, it did seem to take that out. It also cleaned up the brake lines pretty well. here's this side. So actually, I'm kind of happy with it. So I think if I get that sand dried out, get that hose a little bit longer, I think we'll start seeing some pretty decent results. Now, I didn't do the leaf springs. Like I said, those are all going to be replaced anyway. But if you can see here, the little section I did have good sand flow. It was taking it down to bare metal. And I think if I could do that, it would take a long time. It'd probably take, I don't know, it'd probably take a few hours, several bags of dry sand. But I'm going to try to dry the sand out, and we're going to try it again. But I am going to rust treat this real quick, and then we'll get it back in the shop. Okay, now one section I did work on a little bit was the cab corner, because I was curious to see. I knew I had a small hole down there that we're going to have to patch, but it was taking the paint off. But like I said, I was having issues with the sand clogging up in the hose. Now, it did take the paint off pretty good, and there was a lot of undercoating on this cab corner, and it did seem to penetrate that. So I may try to do it so I can do the underside of the bed. Biggest thing is to get the sand dry. I think once the sand's dry, I don't think I'm going to have any issues. Now, I am going to spray the frame down. I'm going to treat it. When my son Cole, he did his truck, he used this product. It's called Ospo. What this is an acid that you spray on there. It's a rust converter. Now, it will turn the frame black. It will treat the rust. Since we did this, especially over the diff cover, started to already get flash rust on that. So I'm going to go ahead and spray this whole frame down. Now, with it being an acid, you don't want to do this on your shop floor, because it will etch the concrete. We know this from experience. Cole did this out at his mom's house, and it did etch the floor at her garage, and she was pretty upset. So I'm going to do it out here. I'm going to wear some gloves. You're supposed to spray this on, let it sit for 24 hours, and according to the instructions, it's ready to paint after that. I'm nowhere close to painting it. I'm just putting a coating on it to keep it from rusting anymore. I'm going to have to hit this probably with a wire brush and a grinder, to be honest with you. But yeah, we'll give her a spray, and we'll see what it looks like. All right, I just transferred this to a spray bottle, and I'm just going to hit the surface real good, get it nice and wet. Then we're just going to leave it sit. So get up under here. Now, Cole said when he used this, it actually worked very well on his truck. All right, truck's been sitting for about an hour. We're gonna go take a look at it, see how it's drying. That Ospo, it says to leave it sit for 24 hours, but it's kind of hot today and breezy, so it should dry pretty quick. Yeah, it's still pretty wet. You can see that acid, it's working. All right, I'm gonna leave it sit for a little while longer. I think I'll let it go a few more hours. We'll check back here in a little bit. All right, it's been several hours. That Ospo starting to work, starting to convert the rust over. Now the direction says it takes 24 hours for to see any kind of results. So I am going to leave the truck sit outside tonight. You can see how the acid's starting to do its job. Now, we are far from finished with this. Like I said, I just wanted to get out, try to knock some of that off. I wanted to see how that pressure washer sandblaster worked. I'm not ready to write it off yet. I think it'll work pretty well once you get some dry sand. We're going to do some more with it. I got lots of parts and pieces here we could redo, that we can blast up, try to make look good in the near future. But this is not all for the square body. We're going to start doing some body work here soon. We're going to take the front clip off of it. We can do some engine work. We're going to pull the motor actually, but we're on our way. Okay, that's going to do it for this one. I appreciate you tuning in. Remember, like, share, and subscribe. We're trying to get the channel to grow. We have seen some growth over the last week or so. I'm actually very happy about that. So doesn't cost you anything. Just click on it. See you on the next one. Remember, make it happen.